Minger Memorial Foundation. This project is made possible through a fire safety grant from the Department of Homeland Security. We would like to also thank those supporters, System Sensor, First Alert, and Domino's. The project we are launching here in North Carolina today will serve as a model for the rest of our nation. Your fine university representatives and fire officials have come together to provide a great opportunity for students to work alongside fire officials to learn more about fire safety, and in doing so, we'll be helping those in high-risk communities, the elderly, the disabled, and even their fellow students living in off-campus housing. While helping others, the idea is these students will take this knowledge with them as a new life skill and help to change the culture and make America a more fire-safe nation. I ask that we have a moment of silence to honor the lives of all the students we have lost in campus fires across the nation. Thank you. Now I have the pleasure and am honored to introduce our first speaker, the Governor of the great state of North Carolina, Governor Bev Perdue.
Good morning. Thank you, Gail, for what you're making happen here. Dan and the Chapel Hill Fire Department, all of you all, thank you for the work you do. Kenzie, who's here, who lost her brother in an off-campus fire at NC State, and Bonnie Woodruff, who is one of my dear friends, and her husband Leon is here, and her daughter Molly, who lost her son Ben in the Phi Gam fire. My son Garrett and his brother Emmett are there. They're both Phi Gams. I'm a Phi Gam mother. I'm a proud Phi Gam mama, and I have the task this morning of dredging up and bringing up and celebrating the work that's been done after the fact, the tragedy of May 12, 1996. For all of us who were Phi Gam mothers that year, the year was a great year. Our sons lived in this house, not this house, but on this block. We were proud of what went on here. We loved the children. They were young men on their way to the future. They were great young men, and they dated super young women. There were many good times had on this lawn, and Bonnie and Leon and I shared those good times. But on May 12, 1996, graduation day and Mother's Day, I got a phone call in New Bern. And Garrett was with me that morning in New Bern, and the university was calling. I believe that the university was calling all the moms and dads they could find who might have had children here on the evening of Saturday or the morning of Sunday. And they were simply trying to help isolate the folks who were here. I was like a lot of moms and dads. I was scared to death, and we got in the car and came to Chapel Hill. I got here, as did Garrett, about the time to understand what had happened. Ben Woodruff, my son's roommate, a fabulous young man who had a future that no one could ever dream about. Joanna, Ann, Mark, Josh, and Ben, all fabulous young people, died in the Phi Gam house on the morning of May 12, 1996. If you ask me as a mama, or now a grandmama, if you ask any of these family members who have been personally touched by a death because of an unnecessary fire, an inexplicable fire, they can tell you, just as I can tell you, about life-changing experiences. That day was a life-changing experience. For all of us, life was never the same. And I would urge these young Phi Gams standing with us this morning to celebrate the loss of those brothers and sisters, and to celebrate the families that grew together during that horrible 4 days. But never let another fire happen on a campus. I can remember that morning and the next morning walking by this wall out here and seeing stacks of flowers, children crying, parents crying, bumper-to-bumper cars. I will never forget the funerals, the brotherhood, the sisterhood of burying 5 young people in a period of 3 days. That spirit of community is here alive because of Bonnie Woodruff and Gail Minger, and because of Kinsey Pilkington. All of those people who've come together with the Homeland Security dollars to once again focus America's attention on fire safety and on the importance of education and the importance of just constant drilling in that in the time when one least expects it, life can change. Since January 2000, I'm told that over 135 people, students, young folks, have lost their lives in campus-related fire. Now, in these days, the world has changed so much that 84% of those young people have lived in off-campus housing. You're looking at one governor, one mother, one citizen, one grandmother who believes that an off-campus housing deserves the same kind of security as an on-campus housing. And I think one loss due to fire, for whatever reason, is one loss too many. Students all over the country have come back to school. You see these young, bright folks walking on this campus. They're walking on hundreds of campuses across this country. Their parents, their grandparents deserve the right to know that those children are safe as they move into residence halls, apartments, fraternities, and sororities, and all kinds of housing. For a lot of those young people, it's the first time they've ever been away from home. And the last thing their families worry about is fire safety. This university is committed to fire safety. It has been for more than a decade, since 1996, because of a tragic accident that caused us to face up to the realities of what not being focused on fire safety can result in. Today is a big day across America to remember that the thing that you least expect to happen can happen overnight. And I celebrate what's going on with education and awareness. I believe this campaign can and will save lives. So as we remember all those who were killed here on this campus in the fire, as we think about the fire at Murray State, or as we think about the fire at NC State, or if we think about a fire anywhere in America, remember it could be your college next time. So the message for us this morning, as we celebrate this opportunity and this dynamic program, is to remember that this annual National Campus Fire Safety Community Service Project being begun this morning is really important. It's as important as anything you'll do today. It's as important as anything you'll think about this year. Because, again, it's up to you and me to make sure that another fire, like the Phi Gamma fire, the Murray State fire, or the NC State fire, never occurs again. It's simple precaution, simple education, simple understanding that the unexpected does indeed happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Governor Perdue, for those wonderful words and your commitment to campus fire safety. Now I would like to introduce a very good friend of mine. We became friends in the most awful way, but we will remain lifelong friends. She has a very powerful message to share with you. Mrs. Bonnie Woodruff.
Thank you. Yes, my son Ben, who was 20 years old and had just finished his sophomore year, died 14 and a half years ago in this house. He had already finished exams and had moved back home to Raleigh, where he was to begin an internship in a law office on Monday. Ben loved his friends, and especially his Phi Gamma fraternity brothers, which is why he came back that night to be with them, to support them on the night before graduation. After the party, he went to his room and he went to sleep. How did we ever know a perfect storm was brewing? An old house with wood paneling and layers of latex paint, a central stairwell that would act as a chimney, big industrial fans in the basement since there was no central air, and fathers and sons sharing cigars together in the basement. I know that you students that are standing behind me today understand and feel that same camaraderie with your friends. The difference is when you leave your friends and you go to your room in your sorority and fraternity house, you will not die in a fire. Ben's death assured that. Yes, I learned about fire safety in a terrible way when Ben died on May 12, 1996. As Governor Perdue has said, it was graduation day and it was Mother's Day. Chapel Hill Fire Chief Dan Jones told my husband and me that day that Ben and the 4 other students who died would still be alive if there had been fire sprinklers. We fought hard to make sure that happened, so no other parent would ever have to be up here saying to you the things that I'm saying. And in 2001, all the fraternities and sororities on this campus had fire sprinklers. We are here today to continue fighting to make our students and the community they live in safer. Students are at an age when they think they are invincible. But I'm here to tell them that they are not. They need to educate themselves and learn how to keep themselves and their friends safe. I am so proud to be a part of this project sponsored by the Michael H. Minger Foundation, and proud that Gail Minger, Michael's mom and my friend, has chosen North Carolina as the state in which to launch the program during National Campus Fire Safety Month. This is not only a chance for the students to give back to their communities, but it is also a chance to make a difference, to save lives, maybe their own, by learning firsthand about fire safety. These are skills and this is knowledge that they will take with them when they leave this university and the other universities where this project is being taken. By educating them, we are creating a fire-safe generation for the future. Remember, fire safety, it's a part of living. Thank you.